Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Prodigy from Kilo 23. As usual, I'm very busy lately. It's really nice to get to be able to sit down and film. Obviously, I am shooting in a different location. Reason being mainly is that recently I did have a flood and that affected where I usually film. So it's very messy down there. I'm still cleaning up and still getting really reorganized so that I can actually film down there because getting all this lighting set up is kind of a pain. Albeit they are very cheap halogen lights, but they're bulky, they're large, and they suck a lot of power. So it's easier just to bring the camera and one light upstairs and just shoot this way. So today I'm going to be talking about a project that I finally got around to. I've been wanting to do it for a very, very long time. If any of you guys saw my post on my Facebook page, and I'll put a link in the description, so if I post something important that I want to talk about next time, you guys won't miss it, so go check that out. I did post something kind of briefly saying that I'd been working on a project and it's about done, so here's the video for that. My King Arms M4, or it's kind of my Colt 6920 now. This actually is replicating my real still Colt 6920 to the best that I possibly could in an airsoft gun, because obviously it's not perfect, it's very close though, and it's good enough to take it out in the field and kind of use it as like a simulation gun for me, something I can kind of faux practice with when I airsoft, per se. So I'm going to talk about this, I'm going to talk about how it compares to my real steel Colt 6920. So this is my Colt 6920. Do a safety check here. Obviously there's nothing in it. Just so you guys will be happy, I will lock the bolt back so it cannot fire and it's on safe. Colt 6920. This is the Socom 1 model, so it's got the Knight's rail on it, it's got the heavy barrel, it's got the different flip-up rear sight here instead of a carry handle or anything like that, or the MOE rear sight. I like this rear sight. I'll be totally honest, replicating it in an airsoft gun is very hard. There is no exact airsoft match. So I ended up just getting a rear flip-up sight, just a random one. I think it was Avengers or something. I picked up a number of things off of eVike, and that happened to be just the one that was reasonably priced, and it worked. The real one of these cost like $50, and I'm like, I'm not going to spend that for my airsoft gun, so I just paid $15 and got one. So let's just kind of start. It's got the 16-inch barrel here. That's the civilian length. It's got the front sling swivel here. It's not on the bottom, it's on the side. The Knight's rail here actually has 4 screws that keep it locked down. There is no airsoft replica of that, and this rail costs between $200 and $400 depending on where you buy it. So obviously I'm not going to spend that on an airsoft gun, so I just got a quad rail on my AR. It's got some Magpul rail covers here. I've got the angled foregrip 2 on here, which is great. Very comfortable. I like wrapping my my hand around it like this. This is something I've kind of gotten used to doing. Obviously your AR pistol grip, usually the airsoft ones are a little bit thicker, but I was able to get a VFC one, which is the correct width, which is nice. Obviously you can see the right side selector here, and it's shorter. I got the right side selector for the King Arms, and I'll show you all this in a second on the King Arms, but it's the standard length. There is no like short airsoft one that I could easily find, at least, so I picked up one of those and it seems to work all right. Standard LE stock. And that's really about it. I haven't really done a whole lot to this, so replicating this in an airsoft gun was kind of interesting. So this is my Colt M4, kind of call it the 6920 now, I guess. As far as the barrel goes, that was kind of the interesting point, and obviously you can see it's a different flash hider. The flash hider I was hoping was going to work on this. The threading is slightly different. I had gotten it off a cheaper, I want to say it's an A&K M4, so the threading didn't quite line out, so I'm just kind of using this as a placeholder until I can get a standard A2 birdcage flash hider. But this 16-inch barrel is the only one actually on the airsoft market. This is the Mad Bull M4 Profile 16-inch barrel, and they run about $50 depending where you get them. I see anywhere from like 50 to 70 or 80. Some of the smaller stores will sell them for more, of course. But getting this to work was kind of a pain because of this rail system. I got it off, it was like a Cybergun something or other M4, and it had the same kind of matte finish to it that I wanted. So I went ahead and used that, and just getting all the links of everything, the triangle sight gas block to fit on the barrel was kind of a pain. I ended up using a KWA front sight because the inside bore of the rings actually fit this barrel better. The King Arms, it was going to scratch the living hell out of this barrel if I tried to put it on, so I wanted to at least make it look somewhat intact when I put it on. King Arms front sling loop already came on the gun, which is nice. I'm using the textured grips on here because I like them more. I kind of wish I got those to my AR, but $8 a pop for 4 of these, or just a handful of these panels, is a little expensive. I know Magpul, that's Magpul for you, they're expensive. I got another angled foregrip, and these are the real Magpul ones, they're not the knockoffs you can get on eBay for $10 or whatever. Very solid front end, very happy with that. Originally when I had it, I had some electrical tape put under here to keep it a little more sturdy, but I don't need that anymore, thankfully. Moving back, obviously it's not exactly the same Colt trademarks that are on the real steel AR-15, but it's close enough. These are engraved, which is exactly what I wanted. It's one of the few on the airsoft market that is engraved and not painted on, thankfully. And yay. I'll talk about the internals of this in a minute too. I did lock it to semi with a MOSFET, so I'll talk about that in a second. I usually just leave it on semi. It cannot go to full auto. Rear sight, like I talked about, is just windage elevation, very basic rear sight, not too different. On my real steel, I have the BCM, I think it's the large extended charging handle. I did not replicate that in the airsoft one because finding something similar was kind of a pain, and I didn't want to spend a lot of money getting another BCM and swapping out the pin and everything with the handle. It was expensive. That was like a $50 handle, and I'm not going to put that into this. This is more of a reasonably priced build replicating that. Like I said, I put the VFC pistol grip on here. It is the correct width. It might be a hair larger actually, but it's about as close as I can get, so it feels about the same. And on the right side here, I've got the right side selector. Obviously this does not turn with the normal selector on the airsoft gun because they're not connected. Also, this is the standard length one. It's the King Arms one, the King Arms brand, so it fit this gun well enough, but I did have to modify it a little bit. The inside of the little circle ring that goes on the inside of the body, I had to sand that down because this thing, you'd think King Arms part with the King Arms gun would fit well, but it still needed some modifications. So here's a picture of that. I had to sand down the inside so I could tighten it down enough so it wouldn't kind of flop around, and I also Loctited the screw in place. I actually used a longer screw also because it started to strip out because of the shorter screw it came with, so kind of something to note if you guys ever look into doing that. I thought about kind of shortening this down, but I'm fine with it the way it is. I'm not that picky about it. Standard LE stock, nothing else is really different. I did have to modify the back plate here a little bit to fit the wiring because it is run to the buffer tube here. Obviously there is no PEC box up front for the battery, so it's being run to the rear, and I just use a stick LiPo in here, usually at 11.1, because the 7.4 rate of fire with this it's okay. Not really rate of fire, trigger response, I suppose, since it's running semi-only. I do have a Cyma torque motor in here, so the trigger response is pretty good. I've got some Systema helical gears in here. I believe they're the torque up ones, so that slows the rate of fire a bit, but the trigger response is still good. I keep saying rate of fire. I keep needing trigger response. It's still running the stock bearings. I'd love to replace those with bushings, but that's another $20. And that's 2 days of lunch at work. Aside from that, I do have a BTC Spectre FET in here, so there is no like small MOSFET box that goes in the handguard or the buffer tube. It's all in the gearbox. I'll have a picture of that. I suppose I can post kind of a little bit of it. And it's all wired to the buffer. Like I said, I'm just running 11.1 stick LiPo. Works great. With the 16-inch barrel, I did actually install a Mad Bull 407mm Black Python 603 barrel, and that seems to be working pretty well. It's just maybe a 1/4 inch from the end of the outer barrel, so it's a good length for it. I actually like it. I didn't want 1.5 inches of just inner barrel being exposed. I did want to take advantage of the slightly longer barrel because I'm actually running a full cylinder in it, which is what it came with originally. So originally it was getting about 390 feet per second. I'm hoping with that inch increase in the barrel with a full cylinder, it'll hit that 400 mark or so. It might be going a hair over, but we'll see what happens. Aside from that, most of it's stock. I did throw in a bearing spring guide. It's a modified ring sitting around. And that's really about it. It took me about 2 hours, maybe 3 hours to put everything together. It wasn't too complicated of a build, and I'm pretty happy with it so far. It sounds really good. It's very smooth. Like I said, it's locked to semi, even though it's on full auto. It's only firing semi because of the MOSFET programming. Both are set to semi-auto. And I love the feel of this. It really replicates my Colt AR-15 very well, and I'm quite happy with it. I'm very excited to use this on the field, so hopefully you guys will see me with this out on the field. And if you do, you'll know, oh, hey, that's just like his real Colt. And if you guys ask, you're welcome to try it. I haven't really taken it out a whole lot, so I don't want to know what its capabilities are yet. I'm not expecting, amazing results. Probably 200 feet with 2 5s or 3s, about 400 FPS, and it sounds pretty good. So I'm pretty happy with it. Colt 6920, King Arms M4. Hope you guys like this. I'm really excited to use this out on the field. Thanks for watching, guys. I'm Putter Chief from Kilo 23. Like I said, link to the Facebook page is down below. As always, go out, play safe, have fun. That's what Airsoft is all about. Thanks for watching, guys, and take it easy. I'll see you next time.